It requires a lot of creativity. All the standard tricks that people do with social media campaigns and email funnels, none of that works. We literally had to go back to, okay, so how did people do marketing before the internet? Calling, SMSs, posters, even flyers. And ultimately, you'll always find something that works. You just have to be a little bit more creative.
The Netherlands-Uganda trade and investment platform NUTIP support Dutch companies and organizations in exploring, entering, and expanding within the Ugandan market. NUTIP promotes bilateral trade and investment between the Netherlands and Uganda, opening access to a strong network of business and institutional contacts that facilitate partnerships and business growth in a rapidly developing economy. Working closely with the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Uganda, NUTIP serves as a key point of contact, support, and information for Dutch and Ugandan entrepreneurs seeking to build sustainable and impactful business collaborations.
What Emata is doing is that we are availing farmers with the option to actually access finance affordably and a reliable way so that they are able to grow their farms and increase their productivity. What does that look like is that for like a woman who delivers, let's say, milk to the cooperative on a regular basis, they're able now to go out there to a cooperative, receive a loan without any need for guarantors, to receive what they need to increase to pay bills, but also increase what they need for their cattle feeds, vet services, medication in just 5 minutes. What that does for her is that before Emata, she would need to go to a bank. She would need to transport herself to a specific bank branch. She would need to have paperwork which she doesn't actually know how to combine or create all the statements required. She'll need collateral, which we don't need for now. Her milk is her access to finance. And she's been doing that for years, meaning all the work she's put in all those years is paying off, because the more milk she brings, the higher her limit, the more money she can access. So our farmers are able to receive digital loans. For crop and coffee farmers are able to access insurance. This is Bram William Bosch, CEO of Emata, Uganda.
This is Lillian, Nassanga, Musoke, Chief Product Officer at Emata and one of the co-founders behind the company.
Yeah. We have a saying at Emata that I am the fluff and Bram is the tough. Together with Bram, we have worked for more than 6 years together. Before Emata started, we built technology for big banks that we felt that this kind of solution would actually work on the local market. So part of Uganda, into Ugandans has a farm, at least at the back of their backyard. They're doing some sort of, so let me try to touch at least every family in this country.
So doing business in Uganda is very exciting. There's a huge need for basic goods and better services. There's a very fast growing population, so often you're the first time people are taking up such a product. Coming from the Netherlands in Europe, sometimes it feels that innovations that we have don't really make a difference. If you look in the world of financial technology, where we're active, yes, people are making payments faster, but whether a payment goes out in 30 seconds or in 10 seconds, yes, it's much faster, but does it really make a difference? Whereas here, you can really make a difference with a good innovation and a good product. So that's really exciting. On the other hand, it can also be very, very challenging to do business here, to the point of being quite frustrated. Basic things often don't work, right? It's very difficult to work with constant power outages or internet that's not working. You need a stack of licenses and regulations, and often that takes very long to acquire. But actually what they do life very, very difficult, and more difficult to survive as a company. So whereas in the Netherlands or in Europe in general, the system is often very supportive and wants you to succeed. Sometimes here it feels that the system doesn't want you to succeed. From time to time, have the right belief and the right team and the right motivation. Ultimately, you can overcome those challenges.
What has worked is combining like WhatsApp. We built a chatbot that basically does all the onboarding in terms of KYC and origination of all the loans in just minutes. So this is a technology they know. What has worked is also combining that technology with the ecosystem that already works, right? We know that farmers will bring their produce to the cooperative on a regular basis, and they will interact with someone at the cooperative. So that person usually use it for Facebook, WhatsApp, so they can use the chatbot. The farmer who doesn't have a smartphone or internet can ask that person to help them request for a loan.
A couple of things that make us unique. Everybody is talking about giving loans to farmers, but what really happens is they give loans to big agricultural factories, big coffee traders, really going to individual farmers and giving them loans, sometimes as small as 100,000 or 50,000 shillings. Not people do it because it's quite difficult and it took us years to get there. So that's the first one. And then indeed it is a combination of, on the one hand, being incredibly efficient by using technology wherever we can, combined with a carefully thought through way how to actually reach farmers up in rural areas where we keep things as simple as possible, interestingly enough, as low tech as possible. So farmers just need to be able to receive SMSs. We send them codes, one-time passwords for them to confirm. We use an agent structure, which of course is very proven in other sectors as well. That combination of making things as streamlined and as efficient as possible, but then when we face the farmer, as simple and as low tech as possible.
We have a brilliant tech team. We're about 21 full-time employees. Of those actually include a lean team that is out in the field managing the relationships we have with these cooperatives, processors, exporters that actually help us access these farmers at scale. You would look at Emata's team in 3 buckets: tech, data, and the operational team that handles relationships with all our partners. So we have an ambition and are already exploring new markets. We are looking into the Tanzanian market with a very strategic partner. We're looking into Rwanda and Ethiopia. The setup there might be a little different from what we do here. In these different markets, we're exploring a different model where we actually partner with banks to do our lending. We are also looking into actually diversifying our product offering here in this market, where we don't only finance farmers but also very trusted, let's say, middlemen or off-takers that work with our partners and help increase their volumes, solving the issue there to make sure that they have all the cash or finance resources they need to buy from the farmers directly. We are calling it trader loans, to make our partners able to actually increase their volumes, but also as many farmers as possible. And part of that is to remove the burden that comes with paying farmers in cash. There's fraud, there's theft issues when it comes to paying farmers for the produce. So we built that they can actually pay farmers when using our platform as well.
We are today a cappuccino company, so we're very big in milk and coffee. And I would say a cappuccino is best enjoyed with a piece of chocolate on the side. So we also do a little bit of chocolate and vanilla. We have explored additional value chains beyond being a cappuccino company. But long term, 5 to 10 years, we think with East Africa, not for all the farmers, but we are increasingly signing up partners that are active across the global south or the entire world. And I do see us following them to their most strategic sourcing.
I do know farmers who have taken more than 6 loans with Emata, paid them back, and the loans get bigger every time. The farmer begins by delivering a small amount to the co-op, is able to get a loan to buy more cows that are a bit more hybrid, meaning more milk over time.
We're able to lend to all of the structure and the same efficiency. But we see big differences between the impact of our loans between the farmers. They're about 10 to 50% of our farmers. They typically earn anywhere between, I would say, $100 and $200 a month before we start lending to them. And we have seen that the moment we give them loans is when magic starts happening and they start growing very fast. And they double, sometimes even triple within 2 years. We have the feeling that these are the best farmers that Uganda has. Just people didn't realize it because they never got the capital they need to show to the world how good of a farmer they are. Because you can be the best farmer in the world, but if you don't have access to capital to invest, just like any other business, yeah, it's very difficult to grow. And maybe they find a little bit of money this year, they invested, but in the next year there's no money. The third year thereafter, the farm is doing well, but the kids have to go to school, so they still have to sort of put themselves in very difficult corners to make ends meet. And what we're doing is giving them season after season the money they need to invest in their farm, and that's where we see magic. And one of the big reasons why farming is yielding so little in Uganda is simply because there is no professional farming class that has been growing over the past decades, that has been consolidating the less productive farmers. And NUTIP has been super helpful in helping us navigate the business challenges that are here, whether it's finding good lawyers, which of course are part of the NUTIP network, or helping us find access to the right government officials in case we feel we've hit a roadblock that could be solved much more efficiently.
Just shortly after we started Emata officially, launched our first loans, that's 2022, we actually got into one of the most prestigious accelerator programs, Noshken.
The year thereafter, in 2023, we were awarded the Best Startup in the World award. So that is in the world out of 80,000. And that was also the year where we announced our very first funding round. There is a lot of money in the world. There's also a lot of money being invested in Africa, but normally it goes to all the big four countries, so South Africa, Kenya, Egypt, and Nigeria. So for companies in Uganda, you really have to punch above your weight to get the funding you need to bring your innovation to the next level.
That was just the beginning. There are more powerful stories waiting to be told, each one revealing the unique ways Dutch-Ugandan entrepreneurs are building bridges, creating jobs, and transforming industries. If this episode moved you, inspired you, or taught you something new, share it, tag us, and subscribe at nutip.org. Bridges of Impact is brought to you by NUTIP, celebrating Dutch-Ugandan entrepreneurship.